To talk all things aviation, I'm here with the President and CEO of Embraer Commercial Aviation, Ajan Meijer. Now, it's great to be on board this plane. Tell us a little bit about the problems, maybe the challenges you have with the current climate we're in.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me and in this beautiful E2. The challenges going forward clearly are getting out of the crisis. Supply chain needs to pick back up. So there is some challenges around us. I think the opportunities that Embraer sees ahead of us are huge. Typically post-crisis we see an increased demand for smaller segments. The crisis has terribly hit our customers, and I think as an industry we need to be more risk averse going forward on one side, and we also need to be more sustainably aware about the future. So challenges bring also new opportunities, and I think Embraer is in great position and looks forward to a great future.
Is that the way you have to focus it? A challenge is an opportunity?
Well, they typically come hand in hand, right? So I think certainly in the Embraer world, in the segment below 150 seats, we see that if there's a lot of challenges in the industry, that customers are looking at better ways to manage risk into the future, to get back to profitability. And what really helps there is smaller aircraft that offer lower trip costs, so you don't have to spend the money on more expensive airplanes on your trip. But the seat cost on those seats that you can offer to the customer are still very attractive. For example, the E2 that we have here is the most efficient and most cost-efficient aircraft in the single-aisle market today. So it just offers airline to offer an aircraft with a capacity that's very attractive from a profit perspective.
When we talk about the challenges, the opportunities you have moving forward, and we touch on the fact that there's going to be a reduction in passenger numbers moving forwards, how do you as a company overcome that, remaining with the focus of having to be profitable?
Yeah, I think that's exactly where we can help our customers. We announced our market outlook yesterday. We believe the 2040 global market will be roughly 20% smaller than we thought a few years ago. That's all caused by two things. One, of course, the dramatic impact of COVID, and going forward, a slightly lower growth than we anticipated before. That will lead, obviously, to a less number of aircraft being required for the industry, or less number of seats, I should say. But we believe that the airlines will focus more on the lower segment to fill that gap. So I think from an Embraer perspective, the unlimited growth into bigger and bigger aircraft with more and more seats, we believe that's a trend that will change going forward.
And also from Embraer's point of view, what are you doing? What are you looking at currently, and also looking into the future with your developments for where we're going to be, looking forwards with aviation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think Embraer has been very busy during the crisis. We've had a lot of engineering hours go into how can Embraer play a different role going forward. Let's not forget that we come from a place where we already did a lot of improvements in the past. Embraer spent a lot of time on looking at the capability of flying SAF on our aircraft to begin with. We launched the E2 rather early in the E1 program because we saw we could deliver a 15+% fuel burn to the market by improving our E1 into a new platform. And in the end, lower fuel burn results in less CO2, and that CO2 that we don't have to replace with alternate fuels or offsets. So getting aircraft out there with the best environmental footprint is something that Embraer has done many years now, and that's what we'll keep doing going forward. And as part of this future trip, we have announced working on a TP that we hope to launch next year. So that's a project that we're working on very hard internally. That aircraft is expected to come to market in 2027 and will deliver a 15% seat CO2 footprint less than the competition out there if we look at our biggest TP90. And also it will have a much better onboard product and a lower noise experience on the plane. So that's one element we're spending a lot of focus on. And what we announced last week on the Energia project, which are still airplanes on paper, it's still concepts we're looking at, but it is the area between 1 and 50 seats that we are looking at what technologies we can bring to the market that are either reducing the CO2 significantly or reducing entirely to zero. in combination with sustainable fuels in some cases. And then going forward, we hope to roll those technologies forward to the turboprop and the E2 in the future. So there's a strategic plan that we see ahead of us, and we're going to work with customers and partners to see how we can deliver and convert those concepts to real products in the next couple of years.
And is part of Embraer's success been the fact that you are so forward-thinking and are developing these new technologies, or working with these technologies and making these adjustments before they're even required?
I think Embraer is, of course, it's one of the, if not the best engineering company in aviation globally. We delivered 15 platforms in the last 20 years, which is an amazing number. Every single platform on time, on budget, and on spec. So I think that's just something Embraer is really good at, and continues bringing the best capabilities and the best technologies to the market.
Fantastic. Ajan, thank you very much indeed.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much.